You'll get this a lot in the IP, honestly. I've had several conversations that go like this. I want to do X. You can't. That's wrong. The lore doesn't go like that. But it says in these published sources that I'm right. I just want to carry on X and Y and Z. Yeah, but they were wrong. They were wrong at the time too. We never directly say they were wrong. We just never mention them again. And eventually counter them in later publications. But the readers think these things are true. Sure, but eventually they won't.
Then the whole purpose is to the window. Because how are we going to get into that? I mean, the books help for the most part if you want to get into the lore, right? And that's why you're going to read them. And then you get this miniature that says totally different thing, and you're thinking now, okay, but why did I just spend my time reading those books if it's not going to be true?
Next we have GW doesn't know their own lore. Again. So basically they released this miniature picture. It says the new plastic miniature shows the full horror of what happens when a space marine has half of his body vaporized by a melta blast. Huron Blackheart's face is mutilated and his power armor broken all down his right side. He has allowed the monstrous weapon known as the Tyrant's Claw to be attached, however, so there's definitely a silver lining in there somewhere. So what's the problem with Huron Blackheart? Well, Tsunami, can you read this?
So Torek Bird Thrower says, cool, he's back. But GW really can't even do the barest research on how Huron looks like that. They wrote the story. Number one, Huron wasn't wounded like that. Number two, the meltablast isn't what vaporized half of his body. Number three, the ghost razors exploded and could not be recovered. In fact, his new claw was an inbuilt heavy flamer. The ghost razors didn't have that. How do I know? Because a random Italian spurged about it over a 5-part multi-hour series on the Bad Av War twice now. An Italian will be calling out GW's canon errors. The first, to my knowledge, being an Italian they hired to translate Eisenhorn for them. At the time, GW made a timeline error about the War Master Macarius. GW, please proofread your stuff. You could take months, if not years, on some of these models. You could spare some of that time on the guide task to properly hype them up. Admittedly, this isn't as bad as during your Heresy Ultramarine post. You called them the 8th Legion instead of the 13th. The screams I heard from both Night Lords and Ultramarines that day.
Oh boy.
This is pretty freaking bad. And this is not the first time, so that's also the point. The Italian, of course, is Pontius, with whom I work with. He's great. He's one of those guys that want to know exactly how the lore is, and he's trying to portray it as accurate as he possibly can. Mm-hmm. Sometimes he has interpretations that are his takes. Whether they are true or not remains to be seen, but when he presents the facts in the lore, that's a totally different story. He makes it accurate as possible, and that is confirmed by Chainsword. By Chainsword 40k, who I also work with. He's a very OG Warhammer guy that knows quite a lot. He's been looking around the books, the novels, to see if there's anything woke in there. Can we read the following post as well?
You always know the new friends from this type of post. In the Warhammer settings, expect GW to function like a video game franchise company with rigidly managed lore. The truth of the matter is that GW is broken into different teams that barely communicate with each other and enter into rivalries. For 20 plus years, the Warhammer settings have been a haphazard collection of contradicting lore and clashing visions. GW handwaves this anarchy as a feature, not a bug. Hence why some GW and BL heads say that, quote, unquote, everything is canon, not everything is true. The GW studio team is notoriously insular. They will almost always favor lore their team wrote over things written by BL or the now defunct FW. If GW management doesn't intervene, GW studios will ignore or retcon from other teams. This is how things were for decades. It was the reason why BL in the past had a bad reputation among the fandom. Things are less bad nowadays, but the problem persists. It's always funny when people bring up Black Library books from 10 plus years ago or something, written in a FW book, and treat it like some sort of hard established lore. The truth is that BL and the now dead FW are mandated to attempt to follow GW studio lore. The GW studio is not obligated to honor anything in BL or whatever. This Huron thing is either a mistake by an intern, not a big deal, it happens, or a retcon by the GW team, which falls in line with what's happening all over the lore. Everything is receiving a touch-up or a rewrite nowadays. I suggest reading the archived loose canon article by ADB or reading his Reddit post about how canon works in GW. Laurie Goulding is also a good insider source about the chaos inside GW. This is from our Warhammer, from Aaron Dembski Bowden.
Oh, yeah, that's one of
boy.
the biggest authors in Warhammer 40k, yeah.
Oh boy, this is a tough one because of, well, the whole Berenstein-Bears things, the Mandela effect, etc., or at least sort of, but not quite. A lot of us came into the hobby in 3rd edition, and the Chaos Codex of 3.5 was heralded because it gave Legion rules, albeit brief and shallow ones, and a billion options for Chaos characters. It's well regarded, which is awesome, but it's practically drenched in rose-tinted, fanned rule, significantly less helpful and not remotely objective. Andy Chambers' Codex Chaos, the 2nd edition bad boy, was the Chaos Codex to rival all others lore-wise, but I digress. But a lot of us came into the setting when Chaos Undivided meant Chaos Undecided, as the tedious meme goes. And we think that things like Demon Princes of Chaos Undivided were, quote-unquote, the way it was, and anything since then has changed. That's debatable. Chaos Undivided as a concept of several gods uniting for a brief time to make shit go down is a relatively rare thing. It's why Blackheart is special. It's why Abaddon is a big deal. It's the mark of Chaos Ascendant. That's not just some honor badge or banner you carry. It's the warp itself crying out to do your merest bidding. Horus didn't even have the mark of Chaos Ascendant. That's how rare it is. So the short answer is, it wasn't there, then removed. It was put in, then taken out, but the massive influx of fans, when it was a thing, means that you will always see its absence as a change. You'll get this a lot in the IP, honestly. I've had several conversations that go like this. I want to do X. You can't. That's wrong. The lore doesn't go like that. But it says in these published sources that I'm right. I just want to carry on X and Y and Z. Yeah, but they were wrong. They were wrong at the time, too. We never directly say they were wrong. We just never mention them again, and eventually counter them in later publications. But the readers think these things are true. Sure, but eventually they won't. IP work is a whole thing. I love it, but it has its contradictions. For most of its life, 40K couldn't have Demon Princess of Chaos Undivided. I've been in meetings and lore chats where it was explained to me. Will it flip back? I don't know. I don't think so, and I hope not, as I think it cheapens the lore a little to have it work that way. It's not just a power-up, and it's supposed to be incredibly rare. But I also acknowledge the difficulty of stuff like Largar and the appropriateness of him getting a watered-down version of Abaddon's mark. So, who knows where it'll go.
Oh boy. Thank you. This is a big mess.
Yeah, indeed, a big lore mess.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Okay, so following on, Torek Beer Thrower continues with, the thing I don't like about this is the same response I've had towards GW's, quote-unquote, we're a model company first. GW isn't a small company. Far from it, it's the biggest and arguably oldest fish in its pond. And for all but one franchise, it's they themselves making the setting, not making toys for someone else, Lord of the Ring. If they never made the Black Library, or even recently their Warhammer Plus stories, if they left making the making of stories purely a fan and outside media, games thing, then they had no hand in, and for that, no tight hand on, this argument would land better. But they didn't. They make novels for their worlds, all three of them. They make animated stories for their worlds. They have been gone to the game devs they hire the license to and have been so litigious about what's in or not. It's killed at least one game and made a dozen mediocre ones. This is their job. This is part of something that gets them billions of dollars. Even with the argument of, oh, they have multiple teams, the flaw then becomes that those teams are all insular, not talking to each other, seemingly making content that conflicts in flavor or quality with another team. There's been quite a few codexes this edition that screams B-team. It's like a kitchen where no one is talking to each other, but you still expect them to know what to do. I just don't fathom why there's no checks or balances, no proofreads. And again, if this was Forge World doing it, it would be less of a hassle, but no. This is GW, the owner or the maker, at best paraphrasing Huron's injury, or at least forgetful uncaring. But I lean more on the latter because this isn't the first time on their own advertisements they made this mistake. They've called the Ultramarine the 8th Legion not long ago for heresy, not only using the Legion of Night Lords, but a mistake that's easy to avoid on their poster boys. Oh my god, dude,
Yeah.
Please do some spell check.
Okay.
That was a bit, yeah.
Yeah. I
That was so
encourage
rough.
everybody to watch Pontius. The Badab War, everything he makes is amazing. I don't even have time to watch it fully myself. Eventually, I'm going to put those videos on when I train or something because I have to catch up. But yeah, the point is that it's extremely important lore. It's extremely complicated, multi-layered, 40 years almost of history. And some things have become like redundant. Some things are retcon because they don't remember or because they want to retcon them. It's a mess. But it's kind of hard from a fan standpoint because one time you're thinking that Gilliman, for example, just an example, is this very cool guy, and next time, next thing you know, he's at fault for something that happened in the Horus Heresy and you didn't even know. It's kind of like ruining the whole character of Gilliman. I mean, this is just like a part of what we think that's gonna be in the Ashes of War book, but we don't know. So as soon as this book comes, I'm gonna get it, listen to it, audio format, make a review, see if it's true from the leaks like 2 months ago or not. But the problem is that when you have something, when you have a character or a storyline and you love it, and then something else comes out and it's not like that, it's worse, maybe it's better, but sometimes it's worse. I like disappointed because the universe that you feel that you have been investing into is not what you think that it is. So your whole idea or feeling about that universe could just fall apart, or a character or whatever it is. So it's just important to keep the integrity alive. And whenever they're releasing a new miniature and write something that's about this character of the miniature, at least check that.
Yeah, there is that.
You have to check that, then write it. Not completely come up with other stuff.
I mean, they're really a big company. Can they afford to have researchers if they forget their own lore? I mean, just have some guys who are going to do that.
No, they do have lore masters.
Well,
they have a lot of.
Are they sleeping or something?
I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
They literally have lore masters series on Warhammer Plus.
Yeah.
That's supposed to deliver the lore. But people like Pontius, Luton, mostly those two, are doing
way
the
better
research.
job, yes. And also, if we're not going to, address the books because that's supposed to be their main lore, why even reading those books then? Then the whole purpose is to the window. Because how are we going to get into that? I mean, the books help for the most part if you want to get into the lore, right? And that's why you're going to read them. And then you get this miniature that says totally different thing, and you're thinking now, okay, but why did I just spend my time reading those books if it's not going to be true?
Yeah, anyway. It's like all of a sudden you're reading a comic book about Ninja Turtles and Leonardo is now not the leader. All of a sudden he's Donatello. You're like, what?
Oh, they did this in one of the cartoons. Yeah. It was Raphael and I was... Of all the guys, Raphael, anyway.
Okay. So let me know what you think. I'm going to mute ourselves for a bit.
Sure. As a 100% admitted Warhammer casual fan, I am the most normie of normies. I know next to nothing. Nothing is more annoying. A place that has deep lore, not doing the barest fucking backbone of sticking to the integrity of what they've put out there. There's so much bullshit in this fucking post of them being like, well, we're a toy company first. That's what we fucking care about, and we can fuck with our lore anytime we want to. It's so fucking stupid, and exactly like what you guys are saying. Why would anyone care about this fucking universe if you're going to change whatever you want, depending on whoever's working that day, and if they like their hair to be red or black or whatever? So stupid to go ahead and give people that don't give a fuck. And the argument that the toys come first, I'm sorry. Transformers, the reason the toys were important, because of the cartoon. The show was important. People got into the, wanting to play with the action figures because of the lore that was established. You keep fucking around with Warhammer fucking lore, exactly mentioning Luton and Pontius, of course. They're a humongous company. Why don't you just contract these guys, a couple of YouTubers, who know way the fuck more about your fucking lore in one mind instead of the thousands of people that work for you? Ask them, what do you think about this? Give them a fucking small stipend, contract them out and be like, proofread this for us, make our lore masters better. It's so dumb that they won't fucking do this. And GW consistently fucking pisses off fans by not respecting their own fucking lore. And they're getting worse day by day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For sure. So, guys, just let us know what you think in the comments, of course. And I would love to know what Pontius thinks, but I'm not sure what he's going to say.
Maybe he'll make a video about it.
Yeah.
I think you guys should do a reaction on it, or a network show where you guys talk about it. This is so infuriating.
Him if he's more free these days. I will invite him, so we can do something together.
conquering might, their purpose burning crystal bright, to lift the throne world from its plight and guard humanity's light.